Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Goiter Gropers crack cocaine eating ASMR experience.
Do you eat crack?
No.
Don't you smoke it?
You smoke it, but like,
And it sounds like. Wait, no, I think I'm thinking of a bong where it sounds like when you smoke it.
yes, I believe a water bong is what makes that noise. I've never gotten high, so I don't know.
Same.
I've smoked.
Not knowingly, at least.
Yeah, right. I've smoked a pipe once and a cigar once, and I didn't like either of them.
Yeah, I guess I've never smoked anything either with like cigarettes or whatever, or cigar. Because even at Andrew's wedding, I just kept the cigar. I didn't smoke it.
Yeah, I didn't smoke it then either. Both of those were actually fairly recent experiences. Did I tell you about them at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. So the first one was with the pipe. That was the boys' trip to Wisconsin. Kyler had tobacco pipes, and so Alex told me to just give it a whiff and see if I like the smell. I'm like, well, yeah, the tobacco smells really nice actually.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot, and so I did. You know, I'm puffing on the pipe, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. I don't like it at all. Like, I can understand why some guys would like it, but nah, I don't like it. I don't like the taste.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel kind of like suave and elegant doing it and stuff, but I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't really. I don't know. It doesn't seem worth it to me.
Doesn't float your boat.
Yeah. And then at Seth's wedding, Seth gave his groomsmen cigars, and John was smoking his, and then he wanted to go and do something inside, and he gave it to me and said, "Yeah, you can finish that if you want." So I'm like, "Oh, I've never had a cigar before," so I gave it a shot. Didn't like that either. It tastes. I don't know. Tobacco does smell delightful. Like, I will say that. It does not taste good when it's being burnt. Like I just don't appreciate it. So.
Sure. Yeah, and I feel like we're getting to that point in our lives where, like, if you haven't done it already, it's probably going to be, like, less likely to be something that we would want.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of past the point of some of those new experiences, I think.
Indeed.
Even though we're still like, oh, no.
We're still like, oh, no. I agree. We are still like that.
we're still quite young, of course, but
yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of that stuff is kind of like adventurous stuff when you're finding yourself as a man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you miss out on that, it might just not be your thing.
Indeed. All right, get ready for the epic, ultimate ASMR finale.
The big crunch. That was mega worth.
Epic.
Because I used a bitter spray on him,
Mm-hmm.
but then I got a bitter spray out of it, and then with the Strat, of course, I can get double the spray from one, so.
Super worth.
Yes. That's the one enemy that attacks with smell in the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
That purples are immune to.
Epic, dude.
So it's not a very useful skill since it counters enemies that can't attack.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. So this week, like I told you, I got my my leftover tech from the office. So I've been messing around with the server, because every time you boot it up, the fans like crank up to 100, and they're like the loudest fans I've ever heard. And I didn't understand why. So I'm like, what the heck? So there's only 2 case fans that were plugged in, and then there's 2 CPUs in the server, and they each have a cooler with the fins and stuff, and then they each have a fan on top of the cooler.
sure.
And I was like, well, I bet you it's the CPU fans that are super loud, because they're smaller, so they have to spin faster to move more air. So I would think that those were probably the loud ones. So I was like, well, I'll try disconnecting the case fans first. So I did. It was still super loud. And then I disconnected, or I reconnected the case fans, and I disconnected the CPU fans, and it was still super loud. I'm like, well, I guess both the case fans and the CPU fans are just super loud then. And then I was investigating. I'm like, well, I'll unplug both the CPU fans and the case fans. So I did. It's still super loud. So I'm like, what the heck? What's making all this noise? So there is a fan that is on. I don't understand what the thing was actually that it was on top of, but there's like a cooling fins thing on top of another component on the motherboard, and this fan is like small too, but it was the loudest fan I've ever heard. And so once I unplugged that, then all of a sudden, oh, it's like a normal PC now with the noise levels. So I don't understand what it was actually cooling. I looked up the motherboard manual, and like it has a diagram, and it's like Intel 5500 North Bridge or something like that. I'm like, what the heck? What does that have to do with that? Because the CPUs are not there, so I don't know what that Intel 5500 North Bridge means.
Yeah.
So I undid the fan that was on there, and so when the time comes to actually set up the server, I'll probably just leave it as is. Because my dad was saying, oh, I think that might be something to do with graphics. And I'm like, well, why would it have a cooler on it if it's just graphics? Because it's a server. We don't, keep monitors connected to it. There shouldn't be any real graphical stress going on. Or
That's
anything.
true.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what it was. But there's a fan that was in the side of the case too, like on the side panel, and it like blows directly on there, but it wasn't plugged in at all before. So I figure I can plug that in, and it's gonna be blowing directly on it. So any heat that might be generated by that would be dissipated by that fan, I think, and it's a lot quieter. And so yeah, hopefully that works out. But I don't care so much for getting that set up right now because I don't have any room to put it anywhere. So it's just kind of sitting, and then I don't have to spend the money on NAS drives because NAS drives are expensive as shit. Like they're like at least twice as expensive as normal hard drives.
Oh wow.
So.
And are they just do they lack anything, or they're just as good and they can run all the time?
They're definitely better than regular hard drives. They're designed to be spinning 24/7. They're designed to be working in server environments type of deal. So I think it's worth it to have NAS drives over regular hard drives because, regular hard drives are going to fail a lot faster than NAS hard drives. So I think that the investment is probably worth it. And, I mean, some of the pricing is kind of dumb on NAS hard drives. Like, let me pull it up on Amazon so you can revel in the stupidity of NAS pricing. Seagate, because I like Seagate stuff for hard drives, at least. Because I have a Seagate Barracuda in my my gaming PC.
Barracuda.
Yeah, Barracuda. Ooh. That's just the name of their regular old hard drive. So here we have various capacities. 1 terabyte is $60. That's reasonable. That's not awful. That's a lot more expensive than a normal hard drive. 2 terabytes is $92.29. So for 1.5 times more money, you get twice the capacity. 3 terabytes is literally $2 more than 2 terabytes. What retard would get the 2 terabyte over the 3 terabyte then?
I wonder if that's just like an availability thing currently,
I don't know.
or that is very strange.
Then 4 terabytes is $105.99. So for $10 more, you get another gigabyte. That's worth it to me too.
Yeah,
for sure. So I think I'm gonna get two 4 terabytes and run them in RAID. So I have that redundancy just in case something fails. And then 6 terabytes is $150. 8 terabytes is $214. 10 terabytes is $280. 12 terabytes is $320. 14 terabytes is $413. They also have 240 gigabyte. gigabyte, 480 gigabyte, blah blah blah. Nothing relevant. Those are all just not listed. They say not available with your current selection.
Sure.
So, yeah. So if you want to get a 14 terabyte, that'll cost you $400.
Ah.
I mean, if you're storing a lot of huge stuff in a NAS, that might be worth it. I'm only going to be storing movies and pictures and that kind of stuff, really. So
Yeah,
I think 4 terabytes in RAID is going to be plenty.
if instead of YouTube we had our own website where we put our videos on, that would definitely be worth it.
Yeah, right. Oh, maybe that's what I'll have to do is set it up so that you can access it and store all of your editing footage on it.
Yeah, except we've lost the majority of it by
Yeah.
this point already. Yeah, I had thought about buying a hard drive for all of it, but I figured that probably wouldn't be worth having around.
Yeah, I don't know. Since it's all going up on YouTube, like, I'm fine with not keeping any of the raw footage.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't really matter to me. So, it's not like I don't know. A lot of big YouTubers will keep their raw footage, or YouTubers like slow-mo guys. Their files are just so massive.
Just for one video, it's like terabytes.
Exactly, because, well, they're capturing 20,000 frames in the space that it normally captures 60 frames or whatever. So, yeah, of course they're going to have huge files. And editing and everything on those huge files takes forever, and they don't want to lose any of that data. So, that's fair.
Yeah. Very sensical.
Indeed.
Very jellical.
Indeed.
Oh, like the jellicle cats. Dun dun dun.
Wow.
So I just got a few treasures above ground.
Two treasures.
Yeah, we're bringing back. That's why I'm bringing back these bodies anyway, because we have to carry back the treasures anyway. So
Yeah, so you might as well get some more ones out of the deal.
yeah. Well, these ones won't give me any money. Those give me Pikmin.
Right.
But I only have like 20 yellows.
Mm.
So if and there's like I think 2 holes left, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
So if one of those goes bad and I lose some yellows, I would need more.
Yep.
So granted, I'm not intelligently selecting who they go to. I just
Indeed.
letting them take them back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another treasure.
Hooray, more treasure.
And a hole.
Yeah.
What hole could this be?
The butthole.
Perhaps
you'll find Louie in here.
My CPU is on edge. Ludicrous dangers await. Beast lurk at the bottom of the deepest, darkest, most foul, sinister, horribly vile pit.
Ah. It's
Do you see
Washington,
what's
D.C.
Ah. Courage is our true treasure. Ah. Nut? Nut.
Big nut. Joe Nut.
What is it? Seed of greed.
Ooh.
Whoa. So I guess we'll save this one for last.
Yep. That makes sense. Very logical.
Yes. Come on, boys.
Yes.